the highs
overall
and lows of E3 2016 with Nintendo. Our thoughts, did it work? Were we disappointed? We had talked about our previews and our expectations last week. Now the show is all said and done. Scale of 1 to 10. Should we... Scale of 1 to 10, E3, or Nintendo at E3, including the booth, the Zelda experience, and their trailers, their social media coverage, and then the Treehouse.
If we say, are we going bronze, silver, gold here? Or are we
I'm saying 1 to 10.
1 to 10, okay. And I would think it's about a 7.5, 8-ish. I'm going around there.
I'm doing 5, 6, or 7.
Big range there.
Well,
5, 6, or 7. Yeah.
But in that kind of, probably. I guess I go 6 then.
Yeah.
6.
Okay, I'll go 7.5. I'll go my low. Yeah, low point there.
I guess if I said 5, 6,
because my gut was saying 7.5, and I kind of was going maybe 8 to be generous, because I do feel like they did great with Zelda. The booth was great.
Zelda gives it the 6 points.
Yeah.
Well, Zelda gives it 10 points.
Zelda basically.
The atrocity of everything else brings it down about 5 points. It averages about 6.
There's so much cringe.
Because Zelda's a 10.
Yeah.
But Nintendo at E3 is bad. That's a 4. That's terrible. Because here's the thing, and here's what I have written down in the notes. Let me list off some of the stuff that I have.
Okay.
First of all, handled very poorly.
Yeah.
It was late. They started off late. Seemed like Reggie didn't have an exact plan of what he was going to
His audio was horrible.
Yeah. Seemed like he didn't know how to transition into the trailer well.
He wasn't confident, I felt. I felt he was a little nervous feeling. He was a little tense.
Which makes sense with the Orlando stuff going on. A lot of people kind of had that initial tense stuff. But even beyond that...
but I felt with Sony and with Microsoft both... When
When Sean Layden went on the stage, Sean owned it every time he was out there.
He always does, though. He's a very, good speaker.
No T-shirt tonight, man. Crash Bandicoot. Which also, we should maybe talk about that. Maybe
he's so politician-y of, the Sony...
Phil Spencer is, too.
And, yeah. Well, and Reggie is... a very politician-y too of Nintendo, but I feel like he's a little maybe more sometimes
laid back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or just a little awkward sometimes.
Yeah, I love that meme of him staring at the Xbox. So handled very poorly. And that's not to knock Nintendo. Their heart was in the right place, but it's not even necessarily the Nintendo Treehouse is a poor idea. They've done Nintendo Treehouse in the past, where they had a little lower third come out, have the box art of the game, and then a timer Super Mario 3D World's up in 5 minutes.
They've always done that. Yeah,
and
what happened?
This year, not only did it seem like they had no idea what they were doing next, there was no timer indication or anything as far as when to tune back in. Mm-hmm. There was no that was what kind of kept us watching all day Tuesday, which I think then soiled our image of Zelda, was that we watched all day waiting for something else. Because they didn't communicate. They had kind of implied there was going to be other stuff, and then there wasn't, but then it was awkwardly paced, and there was Pokemon all of a sudden. It was just...
Yeah.
But then the next day they jammed in so much, but then they didn't show off enough of, Mario Party. It was just... The pacing and the planning was completely just train wrecked.
Yeah, and the other thing we should probably mention is that... I think you made the point about... They'd have somebody come on and show a bit of Zelda... And they'd be like, we're taking a break for a little bit, be sure to wait. And then 5 hours later, they come back finally with a new group of people, and it's oh yeah, so check out this little cool thing. And it's oh yeah, we already showed that in the last one.
Yeah.
And it was okay, I guess we'll
because
it was they had no communication, and the person next would just show the same thing the previous person. It was no, we want to show off this new element.
And they'd be acting like it was so new and stuff. They're now look at this guy. That's actually a Korok from Wind Waker. And they're yeah, we've seen 3 of those today. And they're oh, okay. And it's just did you know you can sled? Yeah, we've seen that today. Yeah. And it's just and which isn't bad, because it's all cool in new different ways. I've seen the same thing several times now with watching all the Zelda coverage, but it's just the way they approached it. They're building it up to be okay, I'm gonna show you guys something really cool. I'm gonna go to the top of this mountain. It's what are you gonna show us up here? Because we may have already seen it. If they would have known, they wouldn't have built it up to be. So yeah, just the communication between the Treehouse employees, between us and the audience was bad. Because that's the thing, is what sucks now is I'm going back and trying to watch all this other E3 stuff because I wasted my time with Nintendo all day.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what they were going to be doing all day. But then you look at something like IGN, where IGN's like, okay, up at 4:20 we're going to have, the creator of Battlefield come on, and then at 4:30 we're having this person come on.
Yeah.
We're going to take a 3-minute break, we're going to be right back, keep it locked to IGN. And it's just like, cool, I'm going to go get an ice cream sandwich, go take a pee, and I'll be back in a half hour because I don't care about Battlefield, but I do want to come back and watch Civilization 6. Like, that's important to me. I want to see that. And like, I would have done that. I would have been like, cool, on Wednesday, I'm not going to watch from 3 to 4 because I don't want to see Tokyo Mirage Sessions, but I do want to see Mario Party. And like, I would have tuned in at the perfect times and got my E3 fix. Because of that, that was very badly managed. And then there's because of that, too much of a focus on Zelda. And then what's odd enough is they kept showing pictures of the Zelda experience, which is what everyone left with, but they didn't give us a tour of it. And then they also just didn't show the NX, which I know they said they wouldn't, but come on, show it anyway. Yeah. Like, lie to us and go ahead and show it. Yeah. And then my final note here is just crap. And so, I mean, and we'll end out this. We have some talk on VR that I may actually save. Nintendo has some thoughts on VR. In 2 weeks, or 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to try VR at the PlayStation on the road to greatness. I'm going to try PSVR. You're jelly?
I'm jelly.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Mall of America in Minneapolis, and they're going to put it on my head and be like, try this, boy. And I'm going to be sitting in the middle of Best Buy like, oh! And then everyone's going to be like, can that guy be quiet? I'm like, guys, I'm on a spaceship! It's going to be really awkward, because people are going to be watching and waiting in line. I'm going to be like, looking around and like looking at the floor and like, this guy's an idiot. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. So yeah, we're gonna end up with
I have hands.
I have hands. I have hands. Yeah, from what I've seen, they don't have the PlayStation Move controllers. But yeah, so overall, here's the thing that I learned about E3 this year, because we talked about in our last episode, like what makes a good E3. What makes a good E3 and what every company needs to do next year is don't show a game, any game, in a conference or anything, don't show a game for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's rule number 1. At E3, no game goes longer than 10 minutes, whether that's a demo, on stage, or behind closed doors or whatever. Because even if you're showing IGN, show 10 minutes. And if you show GameSpot, show them the same 10 minutes, but let them interpret it their own way. Like 10 minutes a game max. Probably like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even less than that. Second, no reason to have the developers on in the conference or up front. Just show the game. Like, that's what Sony did so well, was just game. Hey, Kojima, game. Like, a lot of times Sean Layden was barely out there, and the only time he like really came out was to clarify what Crash Bandicoot was, like what was happening with Crash Bandicoot. He had to say, we're bringing remasters of Crash Bandicoot, so now this Skylanders trailer makes more sense for you. Other than that, I'm out, because I don't need to come out and be like, now we have a game from Sony Ben. No, Sony Ben logo. Boom, you're good to go. And so like with Pokemon stuff, they could have just been like, here's the new Pokemon thing, here's the new Zelda thing, just show it, move on. And the other thing is I do think you need some sort of hardware at E3. I think that's the big thing missing from Sony's thing, is that they didn't show the Neo. There's lots of hype around Xbox's new controllers, around the Slim, and around Project Scorpio, and there would have been tons of hype around the Nintendo NX if they would have shown it. And I think that tangible, here's something that's going to be changing your gaming experience in the upcoming months or years or whatever. I guess Sony did have PlayStation VR, so there was that. Yeah. And so you need to have some form of hardware there, and I think that's the big rule of E3. The 3 rules of E3: no more than 10 minutes for one game throughout the whole show, and no quick transitions. Be quick and precise. That was the problem with Ubisoft. 2 hours long. Come on.
Yeah.
Hurry it up. And then hardware needs to be present somewhere at E3.
Yeah.
And that's what they got so well with the Super Smash Bros. Invitational, with they had the new GameCube controllers. They had, I guess they did show Smash for more than 10 minutes, but that's a different situation where it's the same thing over and over again. Beyond that, they didn't show too much. They didn't show the other modes. They just showed the battles. And then they were very quick in the digital event that year. So that's why that year was so good. But this year was terrible.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on E3? Fun week. We don't get to talk about Xbox and Sony because we're a Nintendo podcast, but I've already designed several Xbox controllers. I'm super hyped. Super excited for PlayStation VR. Very excited for the new Fallout 4 DLC.
Yep.
Gwent's coming out to mobile. That's cool. Really, really fun year for games.
Indeed.
Spider-Man. That looks epic.
Last Guardian got a date finally.
Yeah, I've heard pretty bad things about Last Guardian.
Really?
I've heard it's very much so a PS2 game on the PS4.
That's really sad. That doesn't make any sense. From what we've seen, we saw a demo of it that went on for quite a long time that seems really advanced.
I hear it plays like a PS. That's what I've heard. I've heard that though from Kind of Funny. They can be sometimes a little harsh on games that they just want to be harsh on for some reason.
Yeah.
But I had heard that the game seems like it may be suffering from that whole Metroid Federation Force thing where it's just sunk cost fallacy. It may be suffering from that where it's like we don't want to give up on this game, but now we just got to get it out. And so let's just put it out. And I hear it's just kind of just that effect on it, which makes sense. It's not surprising. I think it's gonna be epic though, just to some
degree, Zelda I feel has had a bit of that effect because it was revealed several years ago, and now it's not when it was revealed. It was already in development for many years, and now
probably since 2012, since Skyward Sword finished.
Yeah, and so
or 2011 maybe even.
And so it looked at that time so mind blowing, and now it's looking a little bit less mind blowing.
Yeah, and even more so than with The Last Guardian, which is 10 years old.
Yeah,
10 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. I was thinking, let's get this last snippet in here, or should we cut it?
No, I already said that we'll do the VR discussion when I do the VR at the PlayStation experience.
This last little snippet we'll do then? The Reggie's comments?
No, we'll do that later. We'll do that in a future episode.
Okay.
On VR.
Awesome.
We'll talk more about VR in the future.
All right.
And so